Is this thing on? Hey!
I'm ready about this skills.
Doesn't she look good though?
No.
Amen.
She's getting out pretty good. Good morning. Did you know it's Mother's Day? I don't know if you knew that. I'm sorry if you had one. All right, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that the children will rise up and call them blessed. Anybody ever been to Ponderosa? I don't recommend you do this. It will embarrass your mother. But my brother, sister, and I stood up in Ponderosa and we called her blessed. And everybody looked at us. And my mom was not impressed. It works really well. So what I need my volunteers to come and help me. We have Terry. We have Deb. If all the mothers and grandmothers would stand, please, so that we can recognize you. This is awesome. Everybody clap. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, mothers. Now, mothers, while you're standing, grab your purses. Grab your purses. Grab your purses. I'm going to send Terry, I'm going to send Deb. If you think your purse is the heaviest, that has to be a purse. None of this bag stuff. Okay, none of this, I brought my carry-on bag or anything like that. So they are the judges. If they think that your bag weighs the most, then they will pull it to the front. Where our loving, wonderful speaker this morning, the first mother of the group, will judge the final four. All right, take us a couple seconds. Run, hurry, run. Whose purse is the heaviest on each side? We need two. And you have to be willing to part with your purse too, because that can be dangerous.
We'll give it back.
We'll give it back, yes. Keep an eye on whoever took the purse. If you think yours is light, go ahead and have a seat. But don't lose your purse, because we're going to be using it again here in a second. If you think yours is light, okay? If you think it's a little light, then go ahead and have a seat.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
You're not out of it yet.
Well, that's kind of heavy. Hang on.
If it's extra heavy, it looks like it's got good stuff right at lunch. Oh, just kidding. Just okay. Do we have two winners? Do we have two winners? Oh, we're working the crowd pretty good here. Okay, we got a winner on this, two winners on this side, two winners on this side. Okay, so, all right.
Don't take their purses, just take them and their purse.
Okay, so who do we got on this side? Nita.
Who do I have on this side?
Yes.
Definitely this one.
This is Wanda. Oh, we knew that was coming. Okay, so go ahead and we have Wanda. So Wanda's the winner. Hold this one. Okay. Well, actually put it right there.
You wonder why I carry it all the time.
I know. She's got it. Okay. Now this side, who's the winner? Okay. This one for sure. Why? Is that you?
Okay. Can you go judge between the two?
Wow. Okay, so now we've got to judge between these two. Who is the final winner of the heaviest purse? The heaviest purse.
Go like this, go.
The heaviest purse.
Hold them out.
I tell you what, these ladies, their exercise for Sunday morning is to bring their purse to church.
Wow.
No, that's true.
Okay,
That's
folks.
tough.
It's hard.
Give it to Terry. Give it to Deb. And confirm.
Which one has a brick in their
I think
purse?
it's that one who's there with it.
Okay, whose is this one here?
Right here.
I mean, they're real
Okay.
close.
They're close.
really close.
Should have brought my scale.
Why they have broken
I'm scared of that thing. Okay, so who do you declare the winner? Who's that?
I think it's like
April! Okay, so April, number. Thank you for bringing your heavy purse to us this morning. We have a gift for you. So, Deb will be bringing it to you shortly. Now, ladies, don't put your purses up because we now need to find out who has the most credit cards in your purse. Who has the most credit cards in your purse?
credit cards.
Credit cards. Who has the most
Credit cards,
credit cards in your
ladies,
purse?
come on.
Credit card, debit card, all that.
Credit card, debit card.
Okay.
They all accrue our cards.
Most credit cards has to be
Store
credit cards.
cards.
Store
I should
cards
say
counts. Not your Sam's
Who's
card.
going to take the wallet and go like this?
It's
Come on,
not
ladies.
Sam's.
We know you better.
If it's a credit card from Sam's, but if it's just gets you in the door, forget it, lady.
I mean, you
Might be
got
Sam's and Kohl's. It might be
Sam's,
gas card.
Kohl's,
Sam's,
Walmart, Yellow
Kohl's.
card,
Sam's is
Four.
a credit card or debit
Macy's.
card.
Come on, ladies. You don't
Not
have a
the
Kohl's card?
entry card.
Give me a break.
Judy, what you got over there? How many? Call out a number.
Thanks, you got it.
She's got about 15. Anybody
How many
need
she
those?
got?
No, 15. Ooh, everybody's going out with Judy. Judy. Okay, Judy, anybody 15? Anybody? Okay. Okay, Judy, the winner with 12. She's
got 12.
Okay, so Judy, we declare you the winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, what time?
Yeah, what time is lunch? All right, the last thing I need to know, I want to know who has the most coupons in their purse.
Coupons.
Coupons in your purse. Anybody most coupons in your purse?
Maybe you don't have one of those pizza, all those coupons.
Coupon book. Anybody? There's
No
one right there.
coupons?
We got a pamphlet here full of like how many?
1, 2,
songs?
3, 4, 5. How many?
Count.
12.
How many you got
Coupons in your
coupons?
purse.
14.
Coupons in your
14.
You got 14 right here. Still counting back there.
14.
Are you past 14?
Do I count?
Yeah.
No. You yeah. Count.
Oh,
You
no,
don't
you
count for this.
14.
Anybody?
14.
Oh, he's
Okay.
Okay, so
Who's
now-
that?
He's counting a whole wad back there.
Who is that?
Okay, who says that? Okay,
If she's more than 14, she's won.
you got more than 14?
Count. You can't call me.
More than 14. We'll declare you the winner.
There's
Congratulations,
about
Becca.
25 right here.
Oh, wow, we know the her sheets. You need a coupon or something. You got that? Okay, congratulations.
Look at this side.
Don't forget to give her coupons back to her, though. She needs those. Okay. Everybody, make sure you got your purse back. Make sure you get your coupons and credit cards back. Just making sure. All right. Thank you very much. We also want to recognize Miss Nita, who is our special speaker this morning. And we also want to thank her for being the first mom of the group. And we appreciate her so much. And this is for you.
She gets a curly kid.
She gets the curly top. So the
That way
others
you
go
can
straight
trick
up.
him when you.
This way she can keep us straight, she can hook us back in line. Thank you guys very much. Happy Mother's Day. Don't forget to hug your mama. Call your mama. Anything else you can do with your mama, she'll be happy. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I had such a wonderful time making these. How could I forget? Ladies, anybody, female, teen and up, whatever, come and get a flower on your way out the door. We had a wonderful time making these, me and my crew, which I'm not supposed to name because they know who they are. Please, take one of these on the way out. Ladies, these are for you. Also, I have 2 people that are brave. That are going to go be by the door, so you're going to get flowers and chocolate on your way out. So it's good to be a female and a mom and an aunt and whatever today is. All right, Lord bless you. Thank you.
Andrew, have a reading, please. Read with me responsibly. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, no harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax
And works with eager hands.
She is like the merchant ships.
Bring her food from afar.
She gets up while it's still dark.
She provides food for her family
She opens her arms to the poor.
and extends her hands to the needy.
She is clothed with strength and dignity.
She can laugh at the days to come,
She speaks with wisdom.
and faithful instruction is on her tongue,
She watches over the affairs of her household.
and does not eat the bread of idleness.
Her children are wise and call her blessed.
Her husband also, and he praises her.
Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting.
But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised.
We have a bit of tradition in our church on Mother's Day that we have a gentleman's choir.
Amen.
Our director is on his feet. If all the gentlemen in the congregation will join
Please.
him, bring your hymnal.
Hymn number 33, please, gentlemen. Come on up. And if you don't know how to sing, that's even better. Amen.
Gentlemen, let me call you by name.
What a good-looking group. 33.
Wow, they look so good. Okay, page 33. Just do the first, third. You okay with that? You got any more? You need to smile like we're doing this.
gonna test the microphone. Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. Well, Miss Faye asked me this morning if I was preaching, and I said, absolutely not. I leave all of that up to my husband. I am not a preacher. I'm a layman, just like all of you. It kind of makes me just a little bit nervous. I got two preachers here listening to me today. So,
Stereo.
Pastor Peavy, my sweet husband, y'all forgive me. I do want to tell you, though, how the Lord works things out. Is this not amazing? So, this has been mulling through my mind all week. You know, my husband wanted me to do this today, and I kept saying, not going to do it, not going to do it. And the Lord kept bringing this scripture to my mind, and y'all did the responsive reading. That is my scripture background, so I don't even have to read it. You've already read it this morning. And I never cease to be amazed. And Ned and I have had no communication. I've been out on the backside of the mountain with no cell phone coverage for a week. It's been awesome. You know, every now and then we'd drive through a town and we'd be like, we have cell phone coverage, and we'd be texting the kids, everything okay? So, you know, so we've been back, but I am amazed. The woman of noble character, you know, and I wanted to kind of explore that today. Her children rise up and call her blessed. You know, we all think of our moms, and I hope that all of you have wonderful memories of your mother. Some of you might not, okay? Some of you might have had a difficult raising, but it's not too late for you, ladies. If you didn't have a great mother, you can still be a great woman of character, a noble character. And so I just want to remind you that God placed each of us here for a reason. He placed some of us as mothers, some of us as single ladies, some of us are widows, some of us are divorced, some of us are married and never had children. And no matter what, no matter where you fall in that realm, in that spectrum, God created you for a purpose. And these words apply to you, whether you ever gave birth to a child or not, okay? Because so many of you have tremendous influence on the people around you, and that is what is so important. I was thinking last night, if I had some kind of medal or trophy or reward that I could give to all the ladies here, I'd be passing them out left and right. You know, a woman works hard all of her life. Now, it's not to say that the men don't, but ladies, we're honoring you today, okay? A woman works hard. She raises children. She keeps her home. She cooks. She provides for her family, and she gives selflessly of time and energy and love and patience and grace. And that mother's love and mother's heart is what I really want to focus on today. But think about the things that maybe your mother gave up. And so I hope you'll kind of give me a little bit of leeway. I was going to share with you a little bit about my mother, about Dave's mother, some other spiritual mothers that I've had through the years, and the ways that they've influenced me. And one of the really cool things I remember about my mother, she was as calm as still water. Okay. Cool as a cucumber. She could we'd have a family come visit for church, and she could throw together enough food to feed another family of 8 or 10 or 12 or 14. How many ever showed up? And she never broke a sweat. She didn't get all flustered and crazy. She could just put that meal together and just feed it to all those people, and it was the coolest thing. And I was always in awe of that, like, wow, how do you do that, you know? And I know a lot of you do the same kinds of things. She was, I've got to follow notes. I get really nervous. I know you guys don't believe this, but inside of here is a shy person. Don't laugh at me. Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I was painfully shy. If anybody looked at me, I'd cry. Okay? So I had all these people looking at me, so it makes me really nervous that I need that fan on. I'm sounding like my husband now. So just to tell you a little bit about my mother, she grew up in the mountains of West Virginia in a coal mine town. Her daddy was a coal miner. And if you know anything about those people born back before the Depression, those that were born in the coal mines, they did not make a lot of money back then. They didn't have unions. They made very little money. It was hard work. They got black lung and emphysema and all kinds of terrible things, the men that worked there. And so she came from a large family with a very cool, calm, sweet mother, just like her. And I'm not sure what happened to me, Valerie. I'm not sure, but anyway. I mean, I can remember as a little girl, we lived on, after my dad realized that the mines were bad for his health, he bought a farm, and we became farmers. And I used to say, if I didn't know better, I think we might have some Amish background, but I'm not sure about that. But we lived on a self-sustaining farm. My mother raised the vegetable garden. Now, my dad did the hay in the fields for the livestock and all that, and he plowed the rows of potatoes, and he plowed the garden, but my mother gathered that garden, and she canned her fruits and her vegetables. She went out before daylight every morning and milked cows. She fed the chickens, she gathered the eggs. When it came to, in the fall time to butcher those cows and hogs and chickens and all that good stuff, she was out there helping, you know. And she had one of those old, how many of you remember these? The butter churns that were Crocs, okay, and they had this paddle that I wish I had one. I brought it to show you, and they would churn up and down for hours, and that's how they would make their butter and their cream. It would separate when they churned it, and cottage cheese and things like that. And I was thinking about this last night, and I thought, you know, our hipsters today, they think they came up with Whole Foods. They think they came up with organic foods. I grew up on organic foods. We didn't have pesticides and all that good stuff back then. They grew it right there. Whatever grew on that farm is what we ate. About the only thing I can remember them buying and bringing in was sugar and flour and peanut butter occasionally. Man, that was a treat. And we got ice cream once a year. And we made it in one of the old crank churns. You know, back then you had to buy ice. We didn't have freezers and all that. So they canned everything in jars. So anyway, I was thinking about that last night. I was like, I grew up on organic foods. That's just really cool. And now they sell it for 3 times more than other food. Have you noticed that? Yeah, so anyway. But I can remember her scrubbing clothes on the scrub board. There was like this metal tub, and she would scrub. And she was so excited when my dad was able to buy her a wringer washer. Now that thing plugged into the wall, and we didn't have running water. She had to take buckets of water from the well and pour in the thing and wash the clothes. And then there was this thing that and you'd run the clothes through there piece by piece. I want y'all to think about this. Think about how many clothes we go through in a week's time, piece by piece. And then she'd take it out and hang it up on the line to dry, and it dried wrinkled because they'd run it through this thing, you know. My sister ran her arm through that thing one time, helping. And then she scared her to death, so instead of doing the release button, she hit reverse and rolled it back out. Oh, she's always special. You know, she doesn't have internet, so she won't see this. So that was my sister Elaine. So I can tell that story. She was awesome. But you know, these women, and you know, to top all that off, my mother gave birth to all 5 of us at home, on the farm. Occasionally, there might have been a doctor there, but most of the time, it was my dad or midwife or her mother that helped her give birth. And she did all of that and never raised a sweat. And you know, in the whole process too, she helped raise a few nieces and nephews along the way. One of Valerie's older brothers lived with us for a couple of years. And just different ones who had needs. She would just bring them all in. She was like a chicken gathering her little chicks underneath her. She would just gather everybody up under her wings. And she just, you know, she also, my 110-year-old grandfather lived with us, and she took care of him too. You know, back then they didn't have nursing homes.
They didn't send their old folks off to the nursing home. They took care of them. And so my mother was raising 5 children, a few nieces and nephews along the way, doing a farm, and taking care of my grandfather. Now, I've always said, when I grow up, I want to be like my mom. Now, I don't think that I could live on a self-sustaining farm right now because I haven't done it all these years. But, you know, I'm just not sure in this modern world that many of us could really do that and do the hard work that those women did, and then think back to the pioneer days when they carried everything on a covered wagon. You know, so I always kind of thought my mom was a superwoman. And in case y'all haven't noticed, I'm a little bit crazy and scattered and out there. And just ask April, she's helped me prepare parties and meals. You know, I can get it all there, and it might. Now, when April's there, man, we are like an army. We are getting it done. Now, if it's me, I'm kind of ADD, and I'll be over here chopping onions, and I'll think, oh, well, I need to peel the apples, and I'm over here peeling apples. And so, but my mom, she was just cool and calm, shelling peas and stringing beans. I mean, she could do it without even looking. She knew how to string those beans without even looking. So, when I grow up, I do. I want to be like her. I want to have that sweet smile and attitude. And I figured out after I had my own kids, they drove me crazy too, but after I had my own kids, I figured out what that secret was about people coming to my mom's house to eat. They did not come for the food, folks. They came for the love that she poured out and that grace. And she always would share that love of Jesus and tell the story. And that's what people are hungry for today. They want that same thing from us. I can remember her praying for me at night. And I hope that everyone in here prays for their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids. If you don't have kids, pick one and pray for them. Our kids are living in a generation that it is difficult to be a Christian. They don't make it easy. No one around them makes it easy. And they need people that are praying for them and supporting them. So, now that I'm already in tears, now we've moved to Granny Phyllis. When we didn't need to buy Mother's Day cards this year, it was kind of, heartrending that we didn't need to buy Mother's Day cards this year. And that's tough, and many of you have lost your mothers, but with Granny Phyllis, I moved to town off of that self-sustaining farm when I was about 10, because I guess it really wasn't making very much money. And my dad needed to make a better living, so we moved to town, and he became an insurance salesman. That's another whole story. But I moved across the street from white-haired Granny Pullen. Now, that's Dave's grandmother, okay? And they would come to visit all the time. They would come to visit white-haired Granny. And so I've known Granny Phyllis since I was a 10-year-old little girl. I don't really remember a whole lot of not knowing her. It's like I've always known her. She's just that big personality. And she had this amazing influence on my life, and I think, where's Briley? Where's Briley? Back there, I was about the age of Briley, close to Briley's age, when I came to know Granny Phyllis. And she was so different from my mother. I mean, man, my mother wore very plain clothing, no makeup and no jewelry. And Granny Phyllis, she always had her fancy fingernails. She taught me how to do that, I want y'all to know. And she had her lipstick, and she was in beautiful jewelry, and she always was dressed to the T. She always looked good. And she was I just looked up at her as like she was a beauty queen. And so I kind of patterned some things after her too. And she taught me so much. She taught me to open up and to not be so shy. And she taught me how to laugh at myself, because I do some crazy things. I don't know about you, but she taught me to laugh at myself. And just a funny story for you about laughing at myself. I'll tell this. This is on me. It's not on my husband. Faye wanted me to tell a story on Pastor Dave. I'll come up with something. something will cross this ADD mind in a minute, but we were on our way home, and you know, I don't like to get up at 3:30 in the morning, and that alarm went off to get on that airplane, and I was like, ugh. So we're stumbling around the hotel room yesterday morning, trying to get all of our stuff packed and get ready and get to the airport. And I say to Dave, do you have that key over there? And he says, what key? You have the key. And I was like, well, I did drive. Well, wonder what I did with that key. I tore everything apart. I completely unpacked my suitcase. Okay, I unpacked my purse, I unpacked my camera case, and then proceeded to unpack my suitcase, and that key was nowhere to be found. And that's just one of the crazy things that you have to laugh at yourself, because I was just like, we're going to miss our flight. How are we going to get home? They're going to charge us, you know, the cost of this vehicle, some $30,000 because we didn't return it. I was panic stricken. And Dave's over there, he's going through things. And so we go downstairs to find out if there's a shuttle bus to the airport. She goes, well, no. And the airport's a pretty good distance away. We couldn't have gotten there on time. And so I said, well, hang on, let me walk outside, because I had a lot of stuff in my hands the night before getting it in there. And I walk out there, where was that key? Right there under a bush, on the ground. And anybody could have picked up that key and driven off during the night. So that's just one of the things that I can laugh at myself about being a little scattered now and then. So anyway, that was my story about myself. So that Phyllis could laugh at herself. She was hysterical. She could cook like a pro. If you ever ate anything she cooked, she was a wonderful cook. She loved to fry everything, man. Fried potatoes and fried pork chops and fried chicken and fried steak. And she fried steak, guys. I grilled mine, but she fried it. It was good, you know. She even fried green beans, fried tomatoes. Anyway, that was her thing. So she could cook. So she would be in that kitchen and they could eat. That family, I had never seen people who could consume food like them. The first time I went to their house to eat, I just sat there in awe. Because, you know, they had brothers and sisters and everybody was acting crazy, and the boyfriends and girlfriends were there of all the kids, and I was just, they were loud and throwing things, and if I'd have done that at my table, that would not have flown with my daddy. But anyway, she was, I mean, she didn't know how to cook less than 10 pounds of mashed potatoes, okay? She's got that food. I mean, she could peel potatoes faster than anybody I ever saw. But she would be in there, she'd be cooking, she'd be spinning tales and talking to 10 people and having 10 conversations all at one time. She'd cook that roast. She'd be kneading her dough to make yeast rolls, and she'd be handing out hugs and some advice and telling you what to do and what not to do. And she would still have those beautiful curls on the hair. It's all those pin curls. She pin curled her hair every night of her entire 87 plus years. Every night. She pin curled that hair, and she always looked beautiful. And one of the things I remember most in recent years about her when she lived with us is now and then when we would go to bed, she would already have gone up to her bedroom, and she had her own little TV up there in this headset that she would listen to the TV, so we didn't know if she was up or not unless she threw balls to Noelle or we thought something had fallen. But every now and then you'd go up the steps and you could hear her just in there talking and talking away. And she was praying. She was praying for us. She was praying for you. If she knew you were sick, she was praying for you. And it was just the coolest thing and several nights I would just sit there on the steps and listen to her pray. And I thought, you know, that is a noble woman of character. That woman who prays for people who need things. And so I've had a lot of spiritual mothers along the way. One of those was Miss Martha. She took all of the young airmen and wives into her home. She taught us how to cook. She taught us how to entertain. Her husband taught us the Bible. They taught us to be adults. They taught us to love God, to respect others. They taught us so much. I'm thankful for her. She passed away a long time ago, but she made an influence on me. And then there was Barbara. Barbara was the pastor's wife. So I thought she was perfect. Guess what? She wasn't perfect. I just thought she was. But she was my friend. Later on, she was my co-worker. Dave was youth pastor under her husband, and he spoke last fall, so you've met them and met them on the district. But one thing about Barbara that stood out to me was her love. She had this genuine love. Someone would come to visit in church, and she's kind of like Mac. Man, she'd grab a hold of them, and she'd hug them, and you knew that she loved you. And people would come to get that love. And I, through the years, have tried to model that loving, giving spirit as well. And she was also a prayer warrior. You get the theme that's coming through here? She was a prayer warrior. Then there was Miss Myrtle in St. Louis. This is in the midst of our kids being toddlers, the pure craziness of that. And Dave was a youth pastor, a music pastor, so we were really busy at church. And I had so many kids I couldn't work, so what did I do? I babysat 5 more. I had 8 every day. As if 3 weren't enough, I had 8. So then I must have felt like Miss Ruth, huh? Mama Ruth. So I had 8 every day, and they were awesome. But Miss Myrtle would bring us over to her house, and she'd invite people for dinner, and she knew what everybody's favorite food was. Or is there anybody in here like that? And she would have 27 dishes on the table just to make sure that she had everybody's favorite food that was coming for dinner that day. I've never seen anything like it. And we would be like blown away. You know, I'm lucky to get 2 or 3 things on the table, much less 27. So that's kind of like the Morgans now. They can throw out some food too. But she was an awesome lady. And she's the one who taught me that you can never outgive God. I can't tell you how many times she told me that. You can never outgive God. And when we went to Pastor Heath and Stacy's wedding out in St. Louis, Miss Myrtle was about 102 or 103, well over 100, living in this extravagant senior living center. But it was still independent living. She had an apartment and everything. And she was still like that. She just look around here. She said, do you know that back in the 40s, when the Church of the Nazarene was struggling, my husband gave a little bit of money to the Church of the Nazarene, and he didn't want it back. It was not a loan, but they thought it was a loan, and they keep paying me back. And she said, why, I forget what year was that, 2008, 7, something like that. She said, they're still paying me back 60 years later. And she had this check of interest. And I want y'all to know, I work in finance, and this is big. Over $5,000 a month she was getting in interest, where they had invested a small amount of money through the years, and the church is still paying it back. And she said, Bob never knew when he gave that money to God that he would be supporting me throughout my years. And she said, always about him. She was the mother of one of my close friends, and she had grandchildren, but she took on our 3 kids and just helped raise them and mothered them. She had us over for holidays when we had no money to get home to our family in West Virginia for the holidays. We went to her house for turkey and dressing for Thanksgiving dinner. We went to her house, and she always had gifts for my kids under the tree. And she was giving and loving and sharing. Something about her. She was a prayer warrior. We saw her not too many years ago in Kansas City, and what did she do? She let us borrow a car. So we did not even have to rent a car while we were there. We flew in, and she let us borrow a car for a seminar Dave had gone to for the church at the headquarters. And here she is, up in her 80s, still giving. And I thought, what a great example. And then there was Miss Dorothy. Miss Dorothy taught me how to entertain. She taught me to feed a crowd. And she taught me that as you're preparing the food for that crowd, that you pour in a little bit of love and a little bit of grace. And she just taught me that. And you know, she also had another influence on me. She had 6 children of her own. She and Mr. Kenny adopted 2 more children. They raised 8 children. And she kind of put that seed of sharing through adoption in our hearts. And that was the time period in our lives when we adopted Robert and brought him in and made him part of our family. And she had that particular influence on me. She was Superwoman too, man. She could garden, and her house could have been in Better Homes and Gardens any day of the week. It looked like that 365 days a year. It was amazing. And then there was another little lady. Now, Miss Etta, she was probably in her 70s, late 70s when we knew her. She still worked at Dillard's every day to make money and took care of her husband, who was retired. But Miss Etta never had any children. Her sister had a daughter who had a daughter, and that daughter had a daughter. So she had nieces and great nieces, and she poured her love into their lives. But mostly, what amazed me about her, I think she told me she had been teaching children for 45 years at church. And she didn't have any children at home, but she wanted to have a godly influence on children. And they didn't have very many children there that came to the church. So what she did, she went out with her car and she found children. And she'd go pick them up on Sunday morning. And you know, most of those kids, they hadn't had any breakfast. Most of them were still in their pajamas or clothes from the day before. And she'd get them dressed. And she'd bring those kids to church, and she'd teach them about the love of God. And she taught me that to pour your life into the life of another, that it has eternal benefits, that you can never measure that. And so Miss Etta never had children. You don't have to have children to have that amazing influence. So I would use some examples here, but I won't, because then I might leave somebody out. So I just want to say to the ladies here who work hard, you help build this church. You're still working to build this church. And you've taught, some of you older ladies have taught us by example how to be a godly woman. And we thank you for that. We honor you today. We thank you for sharing, for passing out that grace and compassion when you give a hug and when you give a kiss, that is a blessing to everyone that you touch. When you give a hand of encouragement, you build me up and you build others up around you. I was thinking about that. You know, I really look forward to Sundays and Wednesdays because I get that encouragement and strength that I need to make it through the week, right? Because it's a hard world out there that we face. And I've seen so many of you smile with grace when you've faced terrible diseases, cancers. Some of these wonderful ladies have passed on that have influenced me, but they've made an eternal difference. And so what you do, the way that you handle your life, the way that you pass out that compassion and love, it makes a difference. And we just want to thank you for that. I was thinking about you ladies who gather together and cook meals and take them to people who have been sick or surgery or someone passed away. I mean, when Granny Phyllis passed away, we had so much food, we were digging out of it, man. We didn't have to buy food for 2 weeks, I don't think. You know, so God is so faithful, and we thank you for doing all that. And, you know, they're the ones who make the pillows to hand out, to take. So every child who goes to camp has a pillow or a blanket to take with them. I think that's cool. Thank you for sacrificing your dollars that send kids to camp or to TNU or wherever you send them. The money that you give to help a child, to teach a child, makes an eternal difference. So we want to thank you for that. We honor our ladies today. We want to just say that we thank you. We want to remind you that we need you. You are a vital part of this church. And what you do is not in vain. The love that you pour out makes an eternal difference. So just a few reminders from the scripture from Proverbs 31, verses 10 to 31. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. There are so many other verses. In verse 26, it says she gives faithful instruction. Or she's a wise and loving counselor to younger women. She reaches out to encourage new mothers, new wives, to encourage widows and single friends. She sets about her work, this said eagerly. My version in the NIV says vigorously. I like that word. Vigorously. We have a purpose and a plan, and we're going to make that plan work. So that is so important. We do not eat the bread of idleness. I like that. We're not lazy. I don't know very many lazy women. I just don't. They work hard. In verses 11 and 12, it says that she honors her husband, and he has full confidence in her. Verses 12 and through 16 talks about how she buys and she sells, and she makes good investments, and she brings food in for her family. And I love verse 20. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hand to the needy. She is clothed with strength and dignity. Thank you, ladies, for all you do. You're amazing. I never cease to be amazed by you every day of my life. And believe me, all of us want to be superwoman, but we're not. We're just saved by the grace of Jesus. And Annette has a closing song for us. Yes? Thank you for allowing me to share. I love you, Kristen.
Stand with us this morning as we get ready to close.
Holy, holy is He.
Father, we bow before you in this day, giving you praise and honor and glory. Now may each and every one who is here in the rising up and the going out, may there be peace upon everyone who is here. And may the joy of the Lord truly be each strength in everyone's heart and life. May we go here filled with not only just your glory, but may we give you praise and honor in everything that we do within our lives. Thank you for everything we've heard and experienced this day. And may we not only be reminded of the virtuous woman, but men here today as well need to realize that godly men cannot be missed in this world. Because godly men will also take a stand for the right things. Thank you for our moms and our ladies, everyone who's here. And oh Father, may everything in our life and breath give you praise and honor and glory. In the name of Jesus, we pray this today. Amen and amen. Ladies, remember your flower as you leave today. God bless you. Happy Mother's Day.